Alright, hello everybody. I'm recording this second video on this same project, same game, because I had some features that I wanted to talk about, some final thoughts about it. This will be some sort of recap from this project, which I think is important. And also I would like to explain some of my decisions here in Unit, which is easier to show, as well as what I believe to be my strengths and weaknesses on this project, what I tend or I pretend to change very soon in order to release a new version of this project. So let's jump straight ahead. I decided to record this in Unit because I would have more freedom to show exactly the points that I'm talking about. First, the more uh, I look into this game, the more apparent comes to me that we have a major problem with our decision involving the axis where the player orientates and moves its block, and from where our wizard is casting spells. So we are using the vertical axis in a way that both the player blocks and the wizard are trying to coexist. And that generates a lot of frustration in examples like the player block just get instantiated, a new block is generated, and the wizard is casting right in the middle of it. So the player does not have any time to react whatsoever, which leads to the block being destroyed. That happens a couple times. You just gotta play it and see it. That's a common thing. That's a common scene that happens. Ways of fixing it, as we can see, our wizard here is floating in the sky. So once I stated that this entity floats, I could very well just move him from this position to this position here and make it so that he will now fly along with our board and cast spells in the horizontal axis. That would mitigate a little bit the amount of frustration caused by recent form blocks being destroyed. This is a problem that very often occur. Another way to change this simple implementation would be just to keep the wizard where he is at top of the castle. We could also change the block when it is spawned. So once the block is spawned, we could add some invulnerability, like 1.5 seconds, I believe, seems to be enough, but you gotta test it. And that way, if there's a spell pass and it will just ignore it, just pass along. That's a good way to quick fix it without having to change, produce new code, and even having to produce an animation for our wizard so he could float beside our board. So that said, that will fix this problem. And another problem was related to our imp spawning. We have some imps that are spawned. I will try to play the game a little bit just to illustrate while I talk. Hope I will be able to do it. So we have this imp problem that starts to occur when the wizard casts, summons a new imp that will just instantiate the imp. So he will not uh, exhibit any sort of indication that a new imp is coming, the region that it's coming. It just appears in the middle of the board, and that seems to affect the player because maybe you were passing with your block nearby and a casual imp just gets instantiated right next to it. That would that what brings the flow of the game down, the same way the blocks being destroyed as soon as they instantiate this. So here we have a level 2 warning. Let's see if you can get some ink to get instantiated. And as I play to demonstrate this second problem, I could talk a little about the strengths involved in this project. So as I stated, this was my first ever single-handed, let's put it like that, game. Never developed a project solo on my own before. And as a final result, I do consider that this game is solid. Oh, there we go. We just got an imp. Right in the middle of the screen, which, oh, that's a little bug too. Which will force us to move our next blocks quite a bit. Now I have to build around it. That was the main idea, and I kind of like this idea, but the instantiation part needs to change. I need a bigger warning. I need to let the player, oh, there we go, block being destroyed right after being instantiated. It's all going on here. And there we go. We made it. So there's a few points that we got to change. There's a few points. There we go. We have our ink there. Now it was easier because I wasn't, the board wasn't that filled. So it's easy to just dodge it, but sometimes it can be annoying. Here on level 3, we have a special spell 2, which forces the wizard to cast multiple, oh god. And there we have it. As I thought, this seems scripted. So yeah, I kind of like that spell too. It will always leave a gap so the player can dodge it. I'm not instantiated that many projectiles, but it's still a problem. There we go. That was a fair hit I got. It's still a problem. So anyway, strengths. It was a solid project after all, and after that, all the knowledge that I got from this project is something that I will really keep an eye on. If I can point what was the most surprising or newest thing that I learned from this project was how to deal with events. I had never used events before, delegates and so on. And they are very, very powerful. They help you through the course of development a lot. Some of the things that I used to do, trying to mix scripts together, events solved all that. It's amazing. So I believe that's the overall for, I don't know, a next version patch from this game that I'll try to work on really soon, next month, to be honest. I'll try to bring some of these changes. So I'll give the imp some warnings, like where or before he really comes down, or even make some coroutine to try to uh, bring the imp from a certain place to another visually, freeze the player block instantiation, and oh, that was a nice dodge. And so I can inform better the player. But as a final result, I took some decisions. The code for the imp appearance, oh, there we go, the block being destroyed right after. I tried to make some decisions. We got 2 imps in a row. To mitigate those problems, as I said, there we go, we got a rain of projectiles. The wizard's on fire. Oh my god, 3 imps. I don't think that's supposed to happen. 3 imps. But anyways, like I gave the player 5 points of health instead of 3, because that would help with some unexpected damage. The wizard has a little animation in which he places his arms to the sky 1 second after he actually fires the spell. That kind of visually indicates to the player that something is coming, so you can delay a block placement, kind of miss the spot that you wanted to place it just to dodge this next spell and something like that. But with no more further ado, I believe this is a good length for this video. It's just a recap. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.